Good morning, folks, and happy Monday. I hope and pray that you're well this day, and I hope and pray that you're experiencing God's blessings as you get your day started and get moving on the right path. And it was wonderful to see you all at worship yesterday, and I hope and pray that you got a blessing from our worship, and I hope and pray you got a blessing from the message number 4 in our series on the cross. And it's wonderful truths that we're gleaning from this well-known story, but sometimes we just need reminding of things because we get a little bit complacent sometimes, and we just need to be brought back into what I like to call true north. But as I said, wonderful to see you, and hope and pray that you continue to be with us as we continue to worship. And remember, folks, that March the 23rd, it will be a week from this coming Sunday, will be our annual spring fellowship. We're going to have our covered dish lunch after church that Sunday. So I want to remind you and invite you to come and be a part of that. Come and worship God, and then come and fellowship one with another around the table. And then don't forget, March the 30th, the branches will be here, 6 p.m. Sunday, March the 30th, and it's going to be a wonderful evening of ministry and song. And I'm going to keep advertising this weekly, because I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to experience that blessing. Sunday, March 30th at 6 p.m. Come on out and join us as we enjoy the ministry and song from the branches. It's going to be a wonderful time of worship. I want to share with you something today that I was thinking about it this morning, and some of y'all, I'm sure, have heard me say this before. I heard my granddaddy say it a number of times, and you may have heard your granddaddy say it a number of times. This phrase, if it burns, you know it's working. If it burns, you know it's working. And that made me think of this passage right here from the book of Proverbs, Proverbs chapter number 3, starting in verse number 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth. You know, we know that the book of Proverbs is one of the wisdom books. Solomon wrote the book of Proverbs. The entire book of Proverbs, from chapter 1 to chapter 31, has to do with wisdom. And it starts off telling us that, I'm going to paraphrase this, but it says that true wisdom comes when we have the fear of the Lord. And that's exactly what Solomon is pointing to in every single verse of the book of Proverbs. And note here that he talks about the chastening of the Lord. Sometimes that chastening needs to happen in order for us to gain wisdom. Think about this. When you were growing up, and I know by and large nowadays it's a forgotten theme, and it ought not be forgotten. But when you and I were growing up, it was second nature to be chastened, and y'all know what I'm talking about when I put it in quotes, chastened. And it didn't feel too good, did it? In fact, it stung. But let me ask you a question: did it work? I bet you didn't do whatever you was chasing for again. Or if you did it again, you just kept getting it until that sting started working. But you know, that's exactly what may happen in our chastening from the Lord. You know, think about this. I mentioned yesterday the absolute truth that each and every one of us are sinners. Let me ask you a question, Christian. When you have engaged in some sort of sin, perhaps it's a weakness that you carry, and we all have one, and you experience the chastening of the Lord, it doesn't feel too good, does it? Or maybe it's a point where you may stray from where you need to be in your spiritual life, and you feel that chastening from the Lord. Sometimes it feels like the Lord has forsaken you. And by the way, if you know the Lord, He's not going to forsake you. But sometimes that chastening is going to sting a little bit. But remember that adage, if it burns, you know it's working. So let me challenge you today. Don't be, as the writer of Proverbs says, don't be despising the chastening of the Lord. Why? Because it's adding to your gaining of that wisdom in the Lord. Not a single one of us have arrived yet. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been a Christian. You have not arrived yet. You're still going to endure chastening from the Lord until the day you go to heaven. So don't despise it. In fact, welcome it. Because what is it doing? It's helping you. It's helping me to gain the wisdom that we need in our Christian walk. So despise not the chastening of the Lord. It says right here, neither be weary of correction. Why? For whom the Lord loveth, by the way, he loves you. Whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father in the son in whom he delighteth. If it stings, if it burns, you know it's working. Hope and pray you have a wonderful day in the Lord. Hope and pray that you gain encouragement, comfort, and challenge from this message today. Love you folks, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. God bless you.